different ways and for a lot of different reasons. Playing the team that was at the top of the table, who wanted to come in here and be able to celebrate a supporter shield, and we didn't want to let that happen, guys. We're not going to let that happen here on our home field. It's great to get back to looking like us, winning, beating a very good team. This will bode well for the next several games and obviously for the playoffs. It was the first time, in 12 games since the last time we played Philadelphia that we had a full-strength lineup. And, I think it showed tonight. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely a playoff-type game. Some crazy conditions with the wind. Some mistakes both ways, but that's to be expected. Certainly from our end, getting back into a rhythm with that 11. Being together for the first time in quite some time. But it was a team win, and it took everyone to win the game. From Aloy making saves to Christian Nemeth coming off the bench and scoring the game-winning goal, to Luis Diaz serving the ball, to guys in the midfield battling and working. It was definitely a team win, and really proud of the guys.
Thank you, Caleb. As we get started, as a reminder, when I call upon you, please state who you're addressing the question to, and then we'll then switch over to that person. Again, we have Caleb Porter, and we also have Christian Nemeth and Luis Diaz. For our first question, we'll go to Jacob Myers. Jacob, go ahead.
Hey, Caleb, you kind of stole the words out of my mouth in describing this win as a full team win, a team performance. Your goalie was your backbone, and you got a lift off the bench. Obviously, those things are needed throughout a year. I guess just first talk a little about Aloy's performance, and then how needed it is to get a lift off the bench as you move toward the end of the regular season here.
Yeah, well, I always say that, it's important that collectively that we're stronger together. That's always going to be our advantage. We have talented players, don't get me wrong. When I say the team's important and that's our edge, that's not taken away from the individuals. But we feel like, when we execute as a team, when we play the brand of football that we play, which, frankly, over the last stretch of games, we haven't been able to. We've had to do different things to try to get results and change plans, and it's been a bit of a mixed bag, but I think tonight we wanted to get back to playing like the Columbus Crew in the way that we prefer to play. And we feel like if we do that as a team, that we'll win games like we were at the beginning of the year and like we've shown in the games where we've played, our style. Within that, we need individuals to make plays, though. So we don't want to be a team so much that we don't have individuals that step up, whether it's attackers, pulling, a rabbit out of a hat they need to find a goal to win the game, or defenders obviously stepping up and making little plays to win games on balls in the box, or whether it's our goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper's in there to make saves. We prefer to not have him make as many as he made, but that's also why he's in there. And he certainly showed that if he needs to be called upon to help us win games, he can do it. And he really showed his quality tonight.
Thank you, Caleb. Next, we'll go to Pat Murphy, followed by Clay Hall, and then Ori. And if you'd like a question after that, click raise hand. Pat, go ahead.
My question's for Christian. Christian, we talked to you early this week about, fitting in with this group and, kind of getting thrown in early on. Today, you coming off the bench, that first touch is a goal. How much does that build your confidence, and how are you feeling with this group right now?
I just joined the team months ago, so every day I feel much better. in the team. I learned the team how to play, and of course I came here because I saw the squad is really strong, and we have chance to win the league, and we are almost there. There's the most important games is coming of the season, so that's why everybody have to be ready. When I came in, I just focused just to have the team, and finally it's happened. So I'm happy for the goal and for the win.
Thank you, Christian. Next, we'll go to Clay Hall, followed by Ori. Clay, go ahead.
Thank you. Coach, congratulations. I think you said it in so many words, but does today reestablish who the Columbus Crew is and that you're going to be a force in this conference and the MLS at large?
Yeah, I don't think inside the locker room, certainly amongst our staff, the people inside the club, that our belief in the group ever wavered. That's really important, throughout a season, to keep a steady hand, keep your head screwed on right, make sure your guys understand the reality, that we keep our current perspective, in mind, which is most important. And, we went through a rough stretch, obviously 5 of those 7 games on the road. And we obviously had some guys out as well. Still didn't make excuses. We didn't, we didn't obviously like not getting as many points as we wanted to. We didn't accept it. But we knew the perspective on it. And we knew, obviously, at this stage in the season, getting healthy, that we would reestablish for sure who we are as a team. And I think we showed that tonight. It'll get better, too. It's the first time in a long time that we've been able to develop a little bit of chemistry. And, of course, it's good when you have guys coming off the bench as well that continue to push and say, I should be in there. That's always important. It's important that we have competition, and that's a true squad.
Thank you, Caleb. We still have time for a few more questions. So we'd like to ask Caleb, Christian, or Luis a question, please raise hand. Next, we'll go to Ori, followed by Jacob Myers. And if you'd like a question after that, raise your hand.
Yeah, this is for Luis. Luis, coming off the bench again today, you've had a couple of games now where you've had a good impact off the bench. I guess talk about your mentality when you're coming off the bench as a sub, or you're going to be aggressive and whatnot. And then for that ball, were you aiming for that back post and expecting Namath to make that run, or was it just kind of, we need to keep peppering the ball in the box to try and get this late winner?
Luis, la pregunta fue, en los últimos partidos has salido de la banca y has hecho un gran impacto. ¿Qué tipo de mentalidad tienes cuando sales de la banca y entras al partido? ¿Estás pensando en ser agresivo desde el primer minuto? Y la segunda parte de la pregunta fue, cuando mandaste ese centro, ¿estabas tratando de encontrar a Christian y sabías que él iba a correr para llegar ahí? ¿O solamente estabas pensando que necesitábamos de seguir mandando centros para tratar de lograr encontrar un gol?
Sí, creo que el último partido ya me toque salir de nosotros titulares o entrar de cambio. Creo que tengo que dar la otra parte de mí, ¿no? Creo que tengo que dar lo mejor de mí, aprovechar la oportunidad que me da Taylor para aportar al grupo y así poder ganar los partidos. Y creo que hoy fue una oportunidad que la supe aprovechar. Creo que después de los entrenamientos nos quedamos trabajando ese último pase para encontrar el gol, y creo que es el fruto del trabajo que se hace después del entrenamiento. Parte de la otra pregunta, creo que sí, creo que cuando tenía el balón vi a Christian hacer el movimiento hacia el segundo poste, y creo que ese fue el pase que siempre tuve en mente al tener el balón, ¿no? El movimiento del compañero y hacerla.
To me, it doesn't matter whether I'm starting a match or whether I'm coming off the bench. What matters is that I'm trying to help the team. And anytime that I am given the chance to go on the field, I'm going to make the most out of it. But first and foremost, it's always just helping the team and helping the team be better. As far as the second question, when I had the ball, I did see Christian in that space. So what went through my head was that I thought if I could get the ball over there in the far post, that he might be able to find it. Gracias, Luis. Up next, we have Jacob, then Pat and Stuart. If you would like the final question after that, please click raise hand.
Questions for Caleb. Caleb, you kind of alluded to it. The game wasn't perfect, although I'm sure the result. There's not much to complain about getting a win against the first place team. But where could you say on both sides of the ball that you still need a little bit more from your team as you progress in these final games here, moving toward the postseason?
Yeah, great result again, for sure, like you said, especially when you're playing the best team right now, top of the table, a team that's been really hot, a team that beat Toronto 5-0. You can't be too picky about how you do it. I thought there were a lot of moments where we did good things in terms of our possession, our control, our passing. There were some times where we got caught on the ball, and I think that probably is a byproduct of us just getting back into a rhythm of having the ball more, being comfortable, playing out and, getting our spacing right, figuring out the best way to create advantages to move up the field, to break lines. There were a couple of times when we weren't able to, kind of run our rotation that we like to run, whether that's cycling the ball from our outside back through our center mids. They did a good job early in the game, I thought, of taking away Darlington by man marking him. I thought second half we were able to, free him up a little bit more, and that's going to be crucial. When he can get on the ball and kind of dictate the game and be that deep line playmaker for us, and drive and engage the midfield, we're difficult to stop because, it opens up space for Lucas. Lucas was lively as well. But, overall in a game that's, windy against a team that presses and likes to deny you time and space, and they play a lot of numbers central in that diamond, I thought we did a pretty good job, actually, but certainly not perfect. And I thought if I'm looking at some improvement, we gave the ball away too much in some bad spots. And then I think defensively, we're very good overall. They're a difficult team. They get a lot of crosses in the box. They attack you central with a lot of numbers. And then when you get narrow, they kind of, switch it out wide for the outside back to come late, and then they're filling the box with crosses. It's very similar to how New York Red Bull at their best plays, that type of philosophy. And I thought overall we defended the box pretty well. Buba and Jonah did a nice job. And of course, on the few moments they had, obviously able to step up. So I think there's definitely going to be some moments that I see in the film where we can defend the box better. So that's probably the takeaway for me on the defensive side.
Thank you, Caleb. Next, we'll go to Stu, and then our final question, Pat Murphy. Stu, go ahead.
Yes, congratulations, Caleb. I just wanted to say, how did you see that play with Mensah? Of course, I'm watching on TV and you're watching up close, but how did you see? I just thought he was contesting the ball. How did you see that?
Yeah, it's nice to not have to talk about those things when you win a game. But I don't know. I haven't watched it again. It seemed like both of them run for the ball, and you can't hit a guy's leg, unfortunately, which I think is what happened. I don't think it was intentional. Whether it's intentional or not, you trip a guy, and it's going to be a penalty kick. So I'm guessing it was a PK.
Thank you, Caleb. And then for a final question, we'll go to Pat.
Caleb, you mentioned that this kind of felt like a playoff game with the weather and two good teams. And the way you're talking about it, almost, it wasn't perfect, but you get a win. Are these next few games, and including tonight, kind of, it's not quite the playoffs, but you're gearing up and you want that mentality from the guys, I guess. Is that how you view these next few games?
Yeah, you gotta know when to whip the horse. That analogy, and you gotta peak at the right time. And I've been part of some teams that have peaked at the right time. It's right around right now. So if you peak too early, sometimes you fizzle. We've seen that around the league. Certain clubs, that's a bit of their history. And so I don't know if it's by design or if you let it happen, but I've been able to kind of usually get the team that I've had and made runs to kind of peak at the right time. So this was a big one. I knew it would be. What's tough is normally you're having a week off, and how you get that last home game. That'd be a great confidence builder. You got to turn around 2 days from now, which is the tightest window we've had all season long, and play at Orlando, which is another team that's going to be in around it this year. The good news is, we're facing two really difficult teams that, once the playoff starts, are going to be in around it. We're going to have to go through those teams. They're going to have to go through us as well. So we get a little bit of a preview. And I think that will really help us going in. This next game is going to be difficult. Obviously, Orlando, good team, good at home. They've had a good season, good coach. So we'll get the group rested. We'll see how guys recover. And then we'll put out, obviously, a group to win the game.
Thank you, Caleb. This will conclude tonight's